Hello, Packers fans. Welcome into PackersNews.com. I'm Kassidy Hill, joined by Tom Silverstein here in Lambeau Field for day 2 of the NFL Draft Spoon.
Exciting.
It is. You seem excited.
I am excited.
Is this your excited state?
Yeah, I'm most excited when they get to the 3 7th round picks. That's when I'll really start to get into a lather.
Oh, gosh, I don't know if we want to see that.
No,
Today, though, they do have 3 in day 2. Pick 53, pick 59, pick 92. Yes, I'm checking my cheat sheet down there.
Not fair.
I don't look behind the scene. Don't look behind the curtain for the great wizard. Spoon, they had 2 picks yesterday in the first round, did not come away with a receiver. In fact, came away with 2 defensive guys. Do you expect them to stay where they are today at 53, 59, and 92, or do you expect Brian Gutekunst to move around, which he had been apt to do in the past in the first round?
I think they'll fish around, see what's available, see where they might need to go to get whoever they view as their top wide receiver or tight end. But, chances are if they have to move up a significant amount, they're going to have to get rid of that number 3. I think they want that pick. I think they'd be a little bit reluctant to do anything more than give up one of their 4ths, because that 3rd round pick, I think, could be someone pretty good. So I would look for them. If they do move, it would be a couple of spots, but I don't expect them to move up to like 35 or something like that.
Okay. When you look at some of the best available still today, George Pickens, Sky Moore, Bernard Raymond, Ajabo, Christian Watkins, Trey McBride, a tight end. We saw a run on receivers yesterday, 6 receivers taken before we even got to the 20s. So if you look at a guy like George Pickens, Sky Moore, even Christian Watkins, guys that you thought you could get. So I understand what you're saying, but those are guys you thought you could probably get in the mid-50s, maybe even a couple of them in the 3rd round.
Maybe.
Does that still seem like the case now?
Well, I'm not sure that you could get a Sky Moore in the 3rd round. I think he was borderline 1st, early 2nd, maybe mid-2nd. George Pickens, I think there's a chance he could just, bottom out. Like, I think there's a lot of strikes against him. I don't know. Maybe someone feels he'll be okay. I have a feeling they've got enough Georgia guys, and they don't want to take a chance on one who's got, some issues with personality and getting thrown out of games and things like that. So there's definitely receivers there. Jalen Tolbert from South Florida, that's a guy who keep an eye on. I think he's somebody that in the 2nd round they could definitely take. Trey McBride, the tight end from losing my mind on that one.
Trey McBride is Colorado
State, right? Isn't it? Anyway,
he's in the state of Colorado. Yeah. I didn't specify school.
He's someone that I could see them taking a shot at in the 2nd round. Or there's a couple other tight ends that are kind of interesting too. So they'll come out with a wide receiver and either another wide receiver or a tight end.
A couple of questions here about maybe a veteran wide receiver. Justin McIntosh asked, do you think they could trade for someone like Tyler Lockett tonight or trade for another vet? We saw trades yesterday. Hollywood Brown went from the Ravens to the Arizona Cardinals. A.J. Brown left the Titans to go to a team that I can't – thank you, Philadelphia. That was a test, and you passed. So we saw teams be willing to move players yesterday as part of trades. Could the Packers get into that as well and maybe trade for someone like Tyler Lockett, DK? I know you've talked about the need to bring in another veteran receiver.
Yeah, I don't know if those type of guys are going to go with 2nd round picks. Maybe there's somebody there. You never know who's trying to deal somebody. Washington, you thought, well, maybe McLaurin, but I don't know. I don't think they want to deal him. And again, you have to be careful who you're going to get, because you get a guy who's in the last year of his contract and you're going to have to pay up the nose for him. And if you're going to pay up the nose, you might as well pay up the nose for Devontae Adams. So it doesn't really make sense to get another guy and then pay up the nose for him. You want to try to get somebody who's got a year or 2 left or whatever. But this is going to go on all through the off season, through training camp. I wouldn't rule out at some point them talking to Odell Beckham Jr. or anybody else who finds himself out, in the cold at the end of training camp. There will be some people. Julio Jones is still out there. They have to figure out something, and I think they will.
Matthew Tan asked what's the latest on Debo. From everything that 49ers general manager John Lynch has said, that does not seem to be a trade they're looking to make. However,
I'm going to say this one last time, and I'm going to echo, but I think I said it first before Aaron Rodgers did. San Francisco is not trading Debo Samuel to Green Bay. Let that go. Just totally let that go. They are not. Why would they trade a guy who so that he could come and beat them in the NFC Championship game? They're not doing that.
Exactly.
So forget Debo Samuel. Just get that out of your head for now.
5:04 p.m. on April 29th. So just go ahead and mark it for when the Debo trade goes through. You can come back and show this to Spoon. So as you said, probably not going to get Debo, but Mitchell asked, could they draft a wide receiver kick returner like Velus Jones, who sort of seems almost Debo Samuelish? Could they, I'm going to add on to this question, could they go up for a guy like Jones because he can do both and they are in such desperate need of a returner?
Yeah, I mean, but stay where you have him ranked. You don't have to push it. You might have to take him a few spots ahead. I think back to Josiah DeGuara, where they just had the sense, and it turned out to be right, that Bill Belichick, that was his kind of guy, and so they jumped in front of Belichick and took him. Now that yet to be seen whether that was the right decision, but that's the kind of thing you have to do. You have to kind of guess who's going to take what, and if you need to jump ahead. So I think one of the things that they can do, there's some real speed guys, some real talent guys who maybe just need development. You mentioned Velus Jones, Samar Toure, Romeo Dubes. There's guys like that who are really intriguing, have great speed, and you can snap them up in the third and fourth rounds.
We can tell it's 5 o'clock because everyone's live hit just hit here in the locker room. Everyone around us is doing this as well. Glad we have a mic. Let me see. Oh, here it is. Jaquez asked, do you think there's anything to the rumor about a Waller trade? It should be noted Raiders owner, oh my gosh, I'm blanking. Mark Davis, thank you, said yesterday vehemently that he was not trading Darren Waller. I feel like we could just kind of push that to the side. That's not happening.
Yeah, I mean, they had Darren Waller on the stage with Derek Carr at the draft, so I don't think they're going to trade a guy that they just brought out to show. No, that's not happening, and I'm not sure that was ever really a real thing. I'm sure the Packers asked for him when they were dealing Devontae Adams, but they quickly found out you can't trade players. They couldn't trade a player. League rules prohibited it in that situation. So, no, the Waller thing's not happening either.
And then I know you've talked about Sky Moore, but just to kind of narrow it down, Callum straight up asked, do you think you could get Sky Moore in the second round today still?
Yeah, debatable whether you could get him at 52. Is it 52 or 53? 53.
Your cheat sheet is right there.
Oh, thanks. Debatable whether they could get him there. They might have to move up to get him. But on the other hand, there's all these offensive tackles, edge guys.
Bernard Raymond is still available.
And these guys could, fill up the second round to the point where, okay, maybe Sky Moore, maybe the teams that needed wide receivers took all their wide receivers and don't need another one. So, the Packers are somewhat fortunate that run took place, because now in the second round, maybe there will be some better players. You mentioned Bernard Raymond, too. Keep an eye on Luke Gadecki, the Wisconsin kid from Central Michigan. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets picked ahead of Raymond. I've had a couple people say that they like him better. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. He's also the kind of guy the Packers would love, because he can play all kinds of positions, and he's really smart, and he's athletic. So keep an eye on him, too.
Not only can he play all those positions along the offensive line, Spoon, Luke Gadecki started out as a pass-catching tight end. I could just see like a trick play with him motioning out to the end zone.
Absolutely.
I love
Absolutely.
it. That one's for free, Matt LaFleur. You can have that play. Last question here from Matthew. Do you think Aaron Rodgers has a say today in what receivers he wants? We know that Aaron Rodgers was talking a lot to Brian Gutekunst last week. He came up when he came to the Bucs game. Matt LaFleur was talking to him a lot yesterday. Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show did not seem surprised that the Packers went defense back-to-back in the first round. Do you think that that communication stays open and that he puts in a vote of confidence for a certain receiver today?
I could be wrong, but I think all Aaron Rodgers wants is to be told what's going on.
Right.
I don't really think he's put in the time to break down all the wide receivers. Now, maybe he looked at Garrett Wilson and Chris Olave and was looked at their highlight films or broke down some tape. Maybe they gave him a couple receivers and told him, just give us your opinion on it. But I think at this point right now, they're saying, okay, this is what we're getting ready to do. This is what we're going to do. And I think Brian Gutekunst is going to take the guy he wants to take, but I think he's going to try to make Aaron Rodgers feel okay with it by saying, hey, here's the guy I'm going to take.
Just be aware. He doesn't want to have to hear it from the news.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Well, whatever happens, we will be there to cover it for you all. Round 2 starts at 6 p.m. 6 p.m. Yes. As we said, they currently have 2 picks in round 2, 1 in round 3. We will have full coverage for you on Packers News. Spoon will be running his live blog again. What time will that start?
That starts at 5:30. So buckle up. We'll be getting going, and I'll start to project what they might take in the second round, and also what I'll have all the potential moves that it would take to get up to certain spots. So I would come and join me before the bell rings at 6 p.m.
Full of info then, and yeah, it is almost 5:30. So go ahead and mark that on your computer. Tab that for Spoon's live blog, and we'll let you get up there to get started on it. Thanks so much, guys.
Okay.
We will see you throughout the night. Stay tuned. Turn on your live notifications. Thanks.